Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do beer stuff here. But we're doing science-y beer stuff tonight. Because we're doing a side-by-side of these. Yeah. Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium. Juice Force IPA versus Fruit Force. Full disclosure. I am not going into this with the most highest of hopes. I have had these beers. There's a podcast called Steal This Beer. And I'm a big fan. I've interviewed John Hall and Augie on my podcast. They are the main hosts of Steal This Beer. I've actually been on Steal This Beer as a guest. And they had an anniversary party a couple of years ago planned. It was actually this whole big thing. We're going to go up to Industrial Arts and do all kinds of fun stuff. But that got the kibosh because of the old COVID. But last week, they decided to do okay, let's do this anniversary thing, but on a bit smaller scale at Barcade in Jersey City, which is where they used to record. So we went out there, me and Keith. We went out there for the live recording and hung out. And during the shows, they do their black glass. They do the blind beers, they do mystery beers, but they do them at a black glass, so I can't really see that. And these were the two beers they did. Hopefully, I don't publish this until that airs, so I don't ruin the surprise for some people, but such is life. And they were brought on by Justin and Chief O'Neill from Industrial Arts chose these beers. Justin Kennedy and Chief chose them. Nobody else knew what they were drinking, and I guess it was more of a not a lesson, but just a curiosity by Chief on see what how we'd all react to doing them. Didn't go over all that well. Spoiler alert. But two of these ended up in my book bag per Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Justin Kennedy, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to review them and see what's what. So, what are we reviewing? Juice Force IPA from New Belgium. Their Voodoo Ranger line, Hazy Imperial IPA. This is 9.5% alcohol by volume. Jesus Christ. Fruit Force, which is a fruit punch IPA, 9.5. Oh, why do I do these things? For science. Anyway, so we're talking about two 9.5% hazy IPAs. One that is fruit leaning, per its title. One that is one's fruit leaning, one's juice leaning. Let's put it that way. Label-wise, these are the dumbest characters. John Hall always kind of jokes it's like the Joe Camel of beer, and it is. It's just this skeleton thing. I just don't get it. I don't know why or what, but it is very kind of just, I don't like them. I mean, they look the part of an Imperial Hazy IPA. Not super ultra turbid, but rich, deep, rich and dark, rich, cloudy. Actually, that one seems a little clearer. Probably just the shape of the glass that made this one over here look a little bit lighter. But it just has this nice soft haze to it, not super turbid. Looks all the part of a big old hazy IPA. Let's get a nose over here. Yeah, I mean, it smells like fruit juice. Tropical fruit juice with a lot of pineapple and a little bit of weed in it. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say this nose is offensive by any stretch of the imagination. Definitely smells all the part of a juicy New England style IPA. Very sweet in the nose. And if something's very sweet in the nose, you know it's going to be very sweet because you can't smell sweet. Let's get a nose on this sucker. Yeah. There was a bunch of aromatic notes and tasting notes thrown out there. Aromatically on this one, we got Kool-Aid. I get that. We got some, High C. I got that. Mine was Luden's Cough Drops. That's where this kind of line. So it has that fruit juiciness, but there's this cherry herbally thing going on that reminds me all the parts of a Luden's Cough Drop. And if you've ever had a Luden's Cough Drop in your life, there's nothing cough droppy about Luden's. It's just basically tropical fruit space candy. Let's dive into this one. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, I mean, it's sweet. It's an Imperial IPA. It's almost 10%. It doesn't drink like 10% by any stretch of imagination, though. But it's sweet in a way that Splenda is sweet. It's sweet in a way that, stevia is sweet. It lacks that kind of, that just raw sugary sweetness. The funny part about that is probably made with mostly raw sugar, but that stuff attenuates out, goes away. It just has this kind of slightly no, not slightly, decently artificial, cloyingly sweet kind of thing going on. But you have to also remember 9.3%. You're not expecting sweet. It's a big ABV hazy IPA. Sweet is the name of the game here, but it doesn't drink like that. It drinks like a really, really sweet, like 5-6% beer as opposed to a 10% beer. Now there is a little bit of like alcohol evaporation, so that clues you into something. You're drinking something of high ABV, but it's not like you drink it and there's any kind of like alcohol burn or anything like that. Just all the tropical fruit, the heavy dose of pineapple, and that little bit of soft kind of artificial sweetness. Done and done. Fruit force. Cheers. It's almost, it's like, it's almost exactly. There's a little bit, a tinge of bittering to the one over here that's a little bit more, it kind of kicks up that Luden's kind of vibe to me because I can confuse that little bit of bittering with a herbaceousness. But it is very much this beer over here with a heavy dose of that fruit punchy kind of Ludensy thing going on. Probably a little bit thinner as far as mouthfeel. Not that this was overly sultry, but it definitely comes off a bit thinner than the one over here. Again, not eking towards any kind of inkling of that 10% alcohol by volume. But that fruit punchiness is very much Luden's, very much Flintstone vitamin-y, kind of fun dippy, in a way it kind of comes off. It's not like, okay, you know, fruit punch when you have an actual like legit, even if it's, freshly squeezed combination fruit punch, you're drinking something real. Here, there's not 1 ounce of grown fruit touched either of these in any form or fashion. It's probably just blasted with drop out all bitterness hops, and then something's added to it. It's got to be some combination of that Flintstone vitamin-y stuff. That's actually what they put in some of these beers, as per Ballast Point and their denials. That's the same extracty, flavory product that they put in some of these beers to kind of enhance the flavor, and it's kind of what's going on here because there's no legit way fruit punch tastes like this. This tastes like red. It doesn't taste like fruit punch. And people are like, "What's your favorite flavor?" Fruit punch. And if someone says, "I like tropical" or "I like mango," they might actually be talking about real fruit. They're probably not, but they might be. But if they go, "Oh, I like purple" or "I like red," they're talking about Kool-Aid. They're talking about artificial flavoring, and that's what you have going on here. Are they offensive? I think that's a conversation. I think that's the conversation that was trying to be had and was hoping to be had. They're not offensive. These beers aren't offensive, But I have the beer. These have a lot more to do with like a mixed drink, a margarita, a Mad Dog 2020, as I mentioned during the podcast, than it does beer. It's a fermented product. It's kind of classified as beer. It meets the requirements to be called beer. Not that those requirements are probably all that stringent. And that's where it kind of falls. It's like, is it good beer? I don't think it is. I don't think it's good beer at all. Is it a flavorful product that a lot of people enjoy? Absolutely. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. But that's kind of where this beer kind of jumps the shark, or beers, I made the joke that this is kind of more, or during the podcast it was kind of talked about, like, about like these beers are the ones that are growing, and these are the ones that are gaining market share, and these are the ones that are actually going off of shelves and people are buying. But I don't think it's necessarily a beer drinker who's buying these. I think it's more the person that goes in for the alcoholic, slushy. You ever go into like a liquor store or a beer distributor, and towards the counter they usually have one of those kind of 7-Eleven slushy things going around, but there's vodka in it, and you can get one of those to go. That's kind of where this kind of lies for me more than beer. And I think that's what it's trying to grab. It's not necessarily trying to be like, I'm going to make some crazy bonkers over the top Imperial IPA and really touch the heartstrings of the people that really enjoy beer. I think it's like, well, there's a market share out there, and that market share is the person that likes to get rip shit fucking hammered on slushies and Mad Dog. Why don't we dip our toes in that market? 9.5%. Tastes like fruit punch of Luden's cough drops. Kind of makes sense. But does that make it not tasty? That's arguable. Is it, you give this to me and you say, I made this mixed drink. What do you think of it? And I'm like, this is weird because it kind of has a carbonation of a beer, but it tastes like a margarita. So I think it's kind of tasty. If someone said, I made this IPA, what do you think? I'd be like, So it's that kind of, universe is where it lives in. But man, as far as just like knowing you're drinking something that didn't come from the earth, these are up there. There's no way you get these flavors both from the fruit nor the fruit nor the juice, and have it be organic. Yeah. 9.5%. If you want to get drunk, these will do it. So yeah, what are we dealing with? Kind of like, the mixed drink version of a hazy IPA, mixed drink version of the hazy IPA, but I'm sick and I'm sucking on Luden's. Done and done. There you go. Man, New Belgium. How far we've come. Employee owned. Now you got a skeleton wearing aviator stuff, selling Ludens and juice. Anyway, are these two of the better Imperial / triple IPAs that I've had as of late? No. Not even close. Not in the conversation. Value and availability. I'm sure if we're gonna flip the script, okay, and I'm gonna get on my high horse, I'm gonna talk about ABV and price point. This is probably great. I assume these are readily available for $15 a 6-pack at 10%. And are probably available. Actually, no, they are available everywhere. I've seen them everywhere. But it's, just because they're available doesn't mean it's good. If you like what we like this, because we're doing it old school. If you like Mad Dog 2020, if you like, what's that? Remember when you used to go to, maybe you don't because I'm old, but back in the day when we used to go to parties, they used to make a tub of juice. And they used to dump a bunch of fruit cocktail mixers in a garbage can with Mad Dog and Everclear and a bunch of stuff. If you like that. If you just like getting turned and waking up at a dumpster, and if you like waking up in a dumpster in Asheville, North Carolina, or Comstock, Michigan, or Fort Collins, Colorado, you'll like this. So there we go. Review in the box. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Down there if you want to talk about it. Have you had these? Let's talk about this. Have you had New Belgium? Do you like New Belgium? What's your thoughts on New Belgium? Have you had the old juice force, the fruit force, the whole force? Nothing but the force. Down there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying something better than these. Hopefully see you next time. Oh, I got it. So, wait. I forgot I got to do the Cuvée. Yeah, it still sucks. Talk to you next time. Cheers, y'all.